Hello, friends. I'm welcoming you all in the series of learning virtualization and cloud computing. Today's session is about understanding virtualization technique. So let's proceed with the agenda of today's session. We will start the virtualization technology with the overview of this technology. Then, after this, we will cover certain terminologies which are essential to understand the virtualization. And then we will shuffle to the next topic, which is why there is a need of having or working with x86 virtualization. So, let's proceed with understanding the virtualization's concept. So basically, what is virtualization? I can simply say virtualization simply means in the layman language, it is simply called as the illusion, right? So definitely, it is simply referring me to act of creating a virtual version of something. So when I am saying I am creating a virtual version, so for which particular platform or tool I can create a virtual version? So, virtualization technology is not only restricted to the creation of the virtual version of hardware platforms such as CPUs, then RAMs, and then there is, let's suppose, NIC cards, and so on and so forth. We can create the virtual CPUs, virtual RAMs, virtual NIC cards, and then we can also create the virtualized operating systems through ISO files or the disk image files, right? We can also create the virtualization of storage devices. We will be learning the virtual storage area network under this. And then we can also work with the virtualization technique under the network. Like we can create the virtualized local area networks in this. So the virtualization concept is not only restricted to these entities only, it is a very broad topic. Just for your information, or according to the syllabus, I have provided certain examples here as we are going to discuss all of them later part of the lecture. So basically, what virtualization really brings to us is it is actually a layer of abstraction between the computing resources and the applications which are running over it. So, in order to demonstrate this point in more detail, let me share one example with you all. So, let's suppose this is the your system. Your system is equipped with various hardware resources, right? Or the simple resources which are essential and are associated within your machine. Now, over this hardware resources is lying a operating system, right? Like in your laptops, you are having the hardwares or the resources like CPU, RAM, then hard disk drives, and there are many other resources attached. Then over that, you are, let's suppose, running in your laptops Windows 10. Now you have a need that you want to create a virtualization environment. You want to run multiple operating systems on your laptop. So how you can do that? So for that you need a virtualization layer. So how you can bring that virtualization layer? There are so many products which are there in the market. Like I am taking one simple example, which is VMware's workstation. So you have installed the VMware workstation on your Windows 10, right? Now this VMware workstation is now a abstraction layer. Okay. Now what it is making me aware of? Now I am able to run multiple operating systems on my existing platform. So that's why what is the point here to discuss is that this virtualization layer is a layer of abstraction between the applications and running and as well as the computing resources. So in between these two entities, this is the layer of abstraction. So all of these operating systems are sharing these hardware resources, and we can run all of these operating systems in parallel mode. So this is what we will discuss in the later part, the power of this technology. So this second point has been covered in this particular example. Let's move ahead with understanding various terminologies which are associated with the virtualization. So when you will learn the virtualization technique, then very often we will be using this name, which is virtual machine, or it is also called as VM. So as I was discussing in the previous example with all of you, that we when we want to run multiple operating systems on a single operating system which has already been existing or associated with the physical machine, then these operating systems in technical term are nothing but the virtual machines, okay, which are consisting of operating systems as well as the apps which are associated with these operating systems. So virtual machine is a very important aspect in that regard. So basically it is a closely detached software device that could run its own operating system and the applications as if it is running on the physical machine, right? So this virtual machine is basically the one which is also called as the guest operating system. It is equipped with the operating system and its associated applications. So this is what is the combination of a virtual machine. And this virtual machine will share the hardware resources of your physical machine, such as RAM, CPU, disk, network, and other resources. So then there comes the second aspect, which is the guest operating system. As I have already discussed here, the virtual machine will be consisting of the guest operating system. So the operating system running in this virtualized environment or in this virtual machines environment, that I will call it as a guest operating system. So in order to run the guest operating systems on your physical machine, it is very important that you are having that virtualization layer installed on your machine. That is the important aspect. Then there is a third point or terminology, which is virtual machine monitor. Virtual machine monitor is also called as VMM. This is further an essential part of virtualization layer. Virtual machine monitor will help you to get into this particular guest operating system, or this can be a part of the hypervisor. I am just going to explain you in the next slide, or can be separate software entity that runs between the host operating system and hypervisor. Simply, what is a virtual machine monitor? When you want to access your guest operating system through your physical operating system, right? Then you need a screen. That screen is actually the virtual machine monitor. Then last is the hosted virtualization. So what is a virtualization? It is basically a method where virtualization and partitioning services run on the top of a typical operating system. So here the typical operating system is the one which I am saying is a host operating system or the physical machines operating system, okay, which is making the other virtualized applications as well as the services to run successfully on it. So this is the definition of a hosted virtualization. So later on, as I said, the most important entity in case of virtualization is the hypervisor. So in the previous slide, I was taking the example of VMware Workstation. So actually, this VMware Workstation is nothing but a hypervisor. This is just an example of a hypervisor. It is acting as a thin layer of software that provides virtual partitioning ability that runs directly on the hardware. So when I was explaining you the system's configuration, like system is there consisting of hardware equipments, then over it is running a physical machine or machine's operating system or host operating system. Then over that, which is providing me a virtualization layer. This technical name of this virtualization layer is nothing but the hypervisor. It will help me to run various operating systems smoothly on this existing physical machine. So this is what the point is. So generally, the hypervisors came under two categories. These are the two types. One is the type 1 and another is the type 2. So the type 1 is having another names too, like it is also known as bare metal hypervisors, or it is also called as a native hypervisor. These are the names of the other names of type 1 hypervisor. Same is the case of type 2 hypervisor, which is also known as hosted hypervisor. So let's start understanding in deep about these two hypervisors and the basic difference between these two hypervisors. So here it is. First of all, there is a type 1 hypervisor, which I already said is a bare metal or native hypervisor. So when I am saying the name is bare or native, so it simply means that having nothing, right? So here it is following the same principle as its name is indicating. In the machine which is consisting of hardware, on that particular hardware it is directly been installed. So this hypervisor doesn't need any kind of operating system to be installed. Okay, so that's why it is called as bare metal, directly been installed on the top of hardware. This hypervisor is called as the type 1 hypervisor. And once you have this hypervisor or the virtualization layer available here, then you will be able to run various guest operating systems. Example is vSphere. This is again a product of VMware, vSphere. We will be learning in the labs about vSphere in more detail. Basically, this type 1 hypervisor has been used in the modern data centers, which are equipped with the virtualized servers, right? So there we are using these kind of type 1 kind of hypervisors. These machines or the in the modern data centers, the servers used are the virtualized servers, so they have the capability to run multiple operating systems within one single machine. So they are directly being installed on the hardware. So specialized machines are these which come under the category of ESX or ESXi. These are just the models or the versions of these machines which are equipped with the type 1 hypervisor facility. Now, moving ahead, type 2 hypervisor, as its name is the hosted hypervisor, so same as per the name, it is been installed on the top of a host operating system. Like this scenario is same as it was in case of VMware workstation. So you are having your computer or laptop with you, which is having some hardware resources with them, right? So on those hardware equipments, you have installed a platform, which is, let's suppose, Win 10. Then this Win 10 is also called as the host operating system. Then on this host operating system, you have installed VMware workstation. And later on, using this VMware workstation, which is providing you a virtualization layer in context of hypervisor, it is allowing you to run multiple guest operating systems on it. So this is what is the entire scenario. So other examples of type 2 hypervisor is Oracle's VirtualBox as well. This is also most commonly being used other than the VMware workstation. There are many other products too, which are serving as the type 2 hypervisor. So now the topic is like why we need to understand the virtualization. What brings the virtualization into picture? So let's start understanding about this thing in more detail. So here it is. Let's start discussing about the scenario which was before adopting the virtualization. So when we were not having the virtualization facility, then how our machines were working? We were having the hardware resources attached. On those hardware resources, we were using the simple operating system. Like I am using, let's suppose, Win 10 right now, and on those that operating system there were a number of applications being installed or been working, which were fully dedicated or been you could say that coupled within this particular or bound with this particular operating system, right? So this is the full-fledged scenario. So there is only one operating system been there. So software as well as the hardwares, these are completely bound, tightly bound together. So if you are running so many apps together here on this operating system, this is leading for the complexity, right? Then you are not actually using or utilizing the resources optimally. This is very important point in context of virtualization. You can check the task manager of your machine. You can check the performance of your equipment, like how much of your cpu is working, how much percentage of your memory has been utilized, NIC card or disk has been utilized, right? You can see that your system's resources are not even getting utilized 50%. Same was the context of the data centers. Before virtualizations, one server was completely dedicated to perform only one activity. So its utilization was always underrated, right? It was never been fully utilized. So when I am not able to use my resources in an optimal manner, then it is actually leading me for, you could say that so many cost has been involved there. The further thing is infrastructure is neither flexible not economically effective. Definitely, everything is bound together. This is a complete bundle or a package, right? So this was the context before virtualization. So the important point here was the utilization of the resources which were attached here was not even reaching the 50%. So the concept after virtualization brings, you could say that a revolution in the field of computer science or IT. So what we were able to do after implementing the virtualization, now on the one single physical machine, this host is nothing but a physical machine, or you could say your laptop, your system, your computer. You are having a hypervisor installed. On that hypervisor, you are running so many virtual appliances, being it virtual machines or so on and so forth, right? So now the point here is that you can provision number of VMs, okay? Then operating system and applications. These are working as a single unit. Then operating systems or applications are independent of the hardware. So these are the abilities or the characteristics that were brought after the virtualization. Now the point was, if this particular machine was getting, let's suppose, 30% utilized before, now with the installation of three virtual machines, its utilization rate has been increased. So now we started to use these hardware resources in optimal manner. So this was the, you could say that, the biggest advantage of working with the virtualization technique. So in order to enhance it further, I have provided certain scenarios here. So let's suppose this is a physical machine. There are two physical machines, two different machines been there. This machine number one, is having near about 35% of its utilization rate. This is fully 35% utilized. And this physical machine, which is machine number 2, is getting 40% of its utilization rate. Still, there it has the capacity, it has the capability to be utilized more, right? So what we did, we simply provided the load of the second physical machine over the first one. So now let's suppose this is a been scenario after opting the virtualization. So this was 35% been utilized, this is 40% been utilized. So overall the utilization of this particular machine now is 75%, which has reduced the need of the second physical machine. So this is the power of working with the virtualized environments. So this is what has been opted by the companies, and they have started implementing this scenario in their servers so that they could efficiently utilize the resources. And this is how the concept of virtualization takes into picture. With this, I hope that you are able to understand today's session. Thank you so much for joining the session.